served as the Additional Chief Secretary, Industries, Investment Promotion and Commerce Department, Government of Tamil Nadu during March 2020 to August 2023. He's been the Additional Chief Secretary in the Finance Department and Principal Secretary in the Housing and Urban Development and the Planning, Development and Special Initiatives Department. He was the founder, CEO of the Tamil Nadu Infrastructure Development Board. Next on our jury, we have Mr. Abhishek Singh. Shri Abhishek Singh is a career civil servant with 28 years of experience of governance and policy formulation. He specializes in the use of technology for improving governance. He is Additional Secretary, Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology, Government of India, with additional charge of President and CEO, National E-Governance Division. He leads major Digital India initiatives, including projects in the field of artificial intelligence and emerging technologies. He has also been assigned additional charge of CEO of Karam Yogi Bharat, a government company under Department of Personnel and Training, tasked with building a tech platform for capacity building of all civil servants. Next in the jury, we have Mr. Harshjeet Sethi. Mr. Harshjeet advises on investments in early stage businesses and is focused on fintech, SaaS, and consumer internet sectors. He works closely with Darwinbox, Freshworks, Skillmatics, Smallcase, Turtlemint, and Vimo, amongst others. Most recently, he led PeakXV's investment in Sarvam.ai, which aims to develop the full stack for generative AI for India, ranging from research-led innovations in training custom AI models to an enterprise-grade platform for authoring and deployment. Next, we have on the jury Mr. Arpit Agarwal. Mr. Arpit is an investment partner at Bloom Ventures. He has been covering a variety of sectors for Bloom, currently focused deeply on climate tech, electric mobility, logistics, healthcare, and deep tech. Over the years, he has led investments into Spinny, Cashify, Battery Smart, THB, each of them leaders in their industry segments. He co-founded Head Start Network, India's largest startup community, which touches more than 1 lakh entrepreneurs annually. He also co-created India Deep Tech and Industry Alliance for promoting deep tech startups. Next in our jury, we have Mr. Howard Lacuna. Howard Lacuna is a senior program officer at the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, where his team is focused on scaling digital public infrastructures in LMICs and accelerating the impact of digital solution. His professional background is in technology development, systems design, AI/ML, and product management. Before BMGF, he was a technical program manager at Meta, working on cross-platform initiatives in the social impact division. We will have Mr. Pankaj Thakkar joining us soon. Mr. Pankaj is a tech evangelist with specialization in digital media strategies, digital marketing, and big data applications and analytics. Next up, we have Mr. Anirudh Suri. Mr. Anirudh Suri is the founding partner of India Internet Fund, a US and India-based early-stage seed fund. He has also founded 2 startups, ekSMS.com, India's first web and mobile-based recommendation engine, and Findable, a hyperlocal commerce platform focused on making shopping from physical stores easier. He has previously served as a policy advisor to the Minister of State for Communications and Technology in the Government of India. Before we start, I would like to request all the jury members to come up to the stage for a picture. Ms. Kavita Bhatia, who is the Group Coordinator for Emerging Technologies, will also be joining us as a jury member today. So for this event, spanning from the time of registration, the AI Gamechangers Award has garnered an overwhelming response from a diverse pool of startups. Post that, a review committee comprising members from government, civil society, academia, and industry meticulously evaluated the submissions. After detailed deliberation and assessment of innovative solutions presented by the startups, the review committee selected the top 10 startups. And these startups will be presenting their pitch today. For the first pitch, we have Arit Business Solutions Private Limited. Would request the presenters to come up on the stage. Please be mindful of the time that you've been given, the 5+3 format. Thank you.
It's up. Okay. I hope you can hear me. Yeah, great. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Where's the timer? You're going to start it? Okay. Maybe I assume it started. Yeah, good. So, welcome everyone to Arit Business Solutions. Arit actually is a Greek word for passion and purpose in life or to achieve excellence. Today the presenters include myself, Dr. Swapna Sen and Swapnil Lonkar. So, what's the opportunity and what's the demography of the problem that we are trying to address? We are focusing on cattle as a segment and how do we bring technology adoption in the cattle segment. Look at it, how diverse and how large we are. We are the world's largest milk producers, more than 308 million cattle, 53 breeds across the country, 80 billion farmers serving dairy industry, 5% or as recently Mr. Manish Shah put it, 9.3 lakh crores of revenue coming from this source. Whereas the growth, which is affected because of COVID and various other ailments, is falling short of the demand. This is a large opportunity. India is one of the largest producers of milk, largest consumers, and to a great extent, we are still having a demand gap which needs to be fulfilled. To this extent, we looked at what are the challenges that the cattle industry or cattle as per se face. There are four major challenges. Number one, missed reproductions. Farmers are not able to detect heat on time, they miss the symptoms, or sometimes they kind of do it at the wrong time and artificial insemination goes waste. There is a high level of sickness and mortality. Almost the cattle which have sickness and mortality get recognized very late. Some of them actually then are incurable to some extent. Yield, I think we lag far below the world average. Of course, it has to do with breeds and genetics and many more aspects. So I'm not claiming that it's only because of the quality of feed or anything else like that, but still there is a significant gap as compared to other places. And there's absolutely no data available on the Indian breeds. I think these are the four challenges that we picked up to address, and we said, can we bring in a solution to this? So our solution, I'm going to play a very short video to explain it to you.
Hi, this is Swapnil from Arit Business Solutions, and this is my team. We specialize in IoT-based cattle health monitoring sensor device. As you can see behind me, we are installing a cattle neck bed over a cow. It's same like our smartwatches, but for cows. This device monitors over 10 parameters of each cow every 10 minutes and sends it to our central server. This data is fed to our unique algorithms which are then able to predict the possibility of any health issues such as high temperature, low rumination, high stress level, heat cycle, etc. This information is conveyed to Team Haribol as well as farmers for their timely actions and intervention. Thank you.
So this is our solution. How does the solution work? We have given a small handout to you where on the second sheet you can see how the solution works. The data is sent to a gateway. The gateway to the sensor can be a distance of up to 350 meters. From there it works on our proprietary engine, AI engine called Cynthia. And from Cynthia we derive the insights which are then presented to the farmers on either, if there are large farmers, then they have web apps and all of that. Otherwise, for small farmers on their mobile apps, this is available in local Indian languages. We have currently introduced 7 local Indian languages: Hindi, Marathi, Tamil, Telugu, Kannada, Punjabi, Odia, and we will keep on Gujarati, yeah, and some more. So we'll keep on expanding these languages. And these notifications are supported by a group of veterinary experts who are available internally, who guide the farmers in case they are missing a symptom. And all of these testimonials which you can hear were also some of these people also presented to Prime Minister just 2 days back about the experience that they have with this solution. I'm today going to unveil what is our AI engine looking like. So what's unique about our solution is that it works across multiple breeds. Here are the 3 leaders and founders. I'm one of them. We have all come out of a very rich corporate experience. I have worked with the Aditya Birla Group and prior to that Bajaj Auto, where I was instrumental in many transformational projects. My other co-founder, Mr. V.S. Sridhar, comes from the Tata Group, having led the VSNL integration and then Tata Communications. And the third co-founder comes from Godrej, with significant experience in finance and HR. We bring with us and with the team here right in front of you, strength in terms of technology, strategy, people, finance, entrepreneurship. But not only that, we also knew we need strong experts to support us. So 2 of the largest organizations available in India, Bharat Electronics, BELOP stands for Bharat Electronics Optronics. Bharat Electronics has tied up with us for manufacturing our solution at scale. And BIAF is the country's largest NGO on livestock management, started and promoted by Mahatma Gandhi. So BIAF is invested into Arit in making sure that this project or this solution is success and bringing many more interventions into this space of livestock management. These 2 are the partners who are supporting us significantly and taking us to where we would like to be. We have received funding support. We have almost raised 1.2 million and plan to raise 5 million. We have a huge set of investors on pool. I'm not going to read out the names. And our business model, so we have solutions, services, and dairy farm needs. Our unit economics is very attractive with a 32% gross margin. Our per unit cost is around rupees 5,000 for the entire installation. And what's the long-term impact that we support? So we believe healthy and productive cattle can lead to, and with a focus on sustainable environment. We have still not touched the biggest problem of methane emission, and which we hope to address through our solution. Happy farmers and healthy families. That's the opportunity size in front of us. It's a very large opportunity. I think no one player can serve this market. There are multiple players needed, but it is a need of the hour, and we hope we can deliver to that expectations. And here is a snap of the interaction the Prime Minister had with us and with the farmers. Because of paucity of time, I'm not going to play it right now, but this is available from Prime Minister's Instagram handle, where he spoke to the farmers and took their feedback directly. So that's from us. We are open to any questions that you might have.
I'll ask the first question. Can you talk a little bit about what kind of traction you've received, how many units you've sold, and also, so one that, and second, what do you think is the right price point at which you think the adoption will really, go up exponentially? Is it 5,000 or is it cheaper? And if so, like, do you have a plan to get to that price point?
I'll answer both these questions. The number one, we launched this product in March 2023 on a commercial scale. Since then, 1,000 units are already in the market. The next 1,000 units have already been farmed out to potential customer, to all the customers. So we will, by end of December, we will have 2,000 units. Currently, we already have 1,000 units in the field. Another 1,000 units in the field by December, because large customers have already ordered out. By end of March 2024, we intend to bring in 10,000 units. That's our plan for this year, which would generate a revenue of about 6.5 crores Indian rupees for this current year. The second question, what is the price point? So one of the questions that we have tried to always answer is price is determined by the value that we generate. What's the value that we can generate for the farmers, and what is the affordability for that value that the farmer is willing to pay? I can tell you that we estimate a potential annual saving of up to 70,000 rupees, Indian rupees, and we said we'll price ourselves at 1/10 of that price to be able to generate significant ROI for the farmers. So that is how we came to the price point of between 5,000 to 6,000. But basis consistent feedback coming in from large agencies like NDDB and others, we have tied up with Bell Optronics for the same purpose that you have actually cast for. And we believe that the target pricing between 3,500 to 4,000 is the absolute perfect price for a product like this.
Can you talk a little bit about sort of distribution? Like, how would you reach, in our country, we have many small farmers all over. How do you educate them on a product like this, and how do you reach them to sell a solution like this?
Yeah. I'll make an attempt first to answer, and I'll also request my colleague Swapnil to come in for a second. So basically, I think one of the most important things is in Indian farmers' mindset, trust is the number one aspect. Everything is bought and sold or accepted by trust. It's important to create those testimonials, those success stories around the farmers. It's not just bought on brand or prices and other strategies. It's very important to build trust. And that's something that we are engaged constantly. Our unique proposition of virtual care managers ensures that there's a constant engagement with the farmers who have purchased our product, and that is how we are building trust with the farmers. It's available through B2D segments. It is available through large cooperatives like Banas Dairy is looking at it. Nestle is already kind of accepted it. So there are large cooperatives who have started working with us, and that could be the other possibility of scaling up. NDDB is planning to take this up in a big way nationally. So we believe that this is the opportunity, but at the end of it, it has to be born out of trust. And Swapnil, you want to add something?
Yeah, sure. As we have spoken to the very many customers and got feedback from them, the awareness, they are already looking for this kind of devices because they have faced a lot of difficulties to manage the cow herds and everything. And what difference make that they are aware, they are looking for this kind of product is they are emotionally connected to the cows which they are having in their farms. So yes, we have really got good feedback from the farmers everywhere, and that's it.
And also I would like to add, we have our collaboration with BIF, where we have a very extensive network of the AI agents, artificial insemination agents. So they are being trained with our solution to make their insemination a more success. So thousands of agents taking our solutions across the farmers will actually make our solution reach the cornermost part of India.
Thank you. It's okay? Thanks a lot.
Thank
you
you
for
very
your
much.
patient listening, and thanks for giving us this opportunity.
Thank you. For the second presentation and pitch, we have Drona Maps Private Limited.
Oh wow, this moved ahead quickly. Good morning everyone, this is Ayushi, COO and co-founder of Drona Maps. We are a decision support platform to enable decision making on the back of reality capture that's done with drones. We do integrate data with GIS, MIS, project management, and other tools to be able to help people make that decision. The first question arises, why drones? Why do you need something like this? This is typically required where either we are dealing with very large parcels of land, latest data is not available, and drones are an easy, inexpensive way to capture very high resolution data to be able to make these decisions. However, you will still end up with the problem of how to analyze this data, because over time, like, this is leading to a large quantity of data that is starting to come in. So, like, for example, I'm sure like a lot of you have heard about the high resolution mappings that are happening in India across like many thousands of villages. Typically, the problems that are arising is these are heavy processing. Like, people are unable to access them on browser-friendly formats and unable to use that within existing work streams. This is the problem we try to solve. Our work has been published. At a population level, we have deployed UAVs and artificial intelligence with geospatial intelligence integrated within it for the state of Punjab, and this has been published in the compendium by Department of Administrative Reforms. This basically talks about multiple use cases that we address within the same artificial intelligence suite. This includes property taxes for over 165 ULBs, slum development for over 10 lakh people, COVID-19 response for 7 states in India, 133 districts, and like also Amrut towns and integration with geodatabases for the same, mandis and rural link roads and highways across the country. Typically, all of this is sort of following this similar structure. Like at the bottom, you have data collection that is happening with a fleet of drones. We work with drone service providers who are collecting this data. We control how this data gets collected. So SOPs are typically defined by us, and we have systems in place to automatically check whether or not the data collected is following certain standards. Then we do map reconstruction, which is 3D and 2D maps, like high resolution out of it. Beyond this point, we use AI analytics in conjunction with legacy geospatial approaches to extract information from it. And then like this entire data set becomes a part of a dynamically updating geodatabase, which is shown at the end in a browser-friendly dashboard format. So the dashboards that you see here are for a highway use case that I'll jump into like a little bit later. Over time, like the screenshot that you have here is for slum development for, as I was saying earlier, for 10 lakh individuals in Punjab. Over time, we've seen an increase in the adoption of internet-based dashboard access for particularly this kind of data. From a business standpoint, we are usually working with a lot of private entities. We have integrations with SAP, ESRI, KPMG, and we do have a mix of B2B and B2G clients who are taking the solution at scale. Over a period of time, we are looking at the evolution of autonomy, starting from the hardware stage, which is where most companies are right now, and the way they're using AI right now. Where we fall in is autonomous workflow, where we are integrating sensors, GIS, MIS, and a bunch of other data fusion that is happening. But what is still left is basically the ability to just hit a button and the entire drone would fly on its own, collect data, the entire analysis would have on its own, and actually be displayed on a dashboard. In the end, like just understanding the drone industry a little bit, it's a $50 billion industry that's expected to grow, and this is Boston Consulting Group. The estimates vary from whichever entity. And from a value addition standpoint, a lot of the work now is happening, a major chunk of it is on the value adds and the SaaS side of it. From a competitive landscape standpoint, what we are looking at is cost versus stage of functional integration. Most companies are actually on the first stage across the world, which is hardware companies are primarily driving at getting the hardware into the roads, and which has happened to a large degree for major firms like Skydio, DJI, even IdeaForge in India. Then you have reconstruction platforms, GIS and MIS platforms. A lot of these would be familiar names. Where we fall is basically an integration of all of this value chain in different bits and pieces. what we are trying to do, so as I like initially mentioned earlier, like this is a use case that had come to us where drones are already existing on the ground. Countrywide, this is probably the largest operational network of drones being used to map the entire country's highways. They were collecting video data till this point onwards and doing annotations on top of it manually. Where we came in was basically taking this alignment of data and changing the input formats from video imagery to just images captured in a certain orthomosaic pattern so that you can get a video and also a map out of it. These reconstructions were then used for AI ML of over 100 features. And these features would then automatically be collected and like analyzed over a period of time on monthly mappings for under construction and for O&M, like roughly speaking, every 6 months. This is about, I believe, 3.6 lakh kilometers of data we are talking about. From a drone, so there's the entire pipeline. I wouldn't delve too deep into it. It looks very similar to what we have talked about earlier. These are the different suites that exist, the under construction, O&M, plantations, road safety, black spots, and we have also allowed for actually correcting the data. No AI is perfect, so we have created systems around it which make sure that this data can be corrected by the experts. So a riverine bridge, for example, is not misdiagnosed as a minor bridge, and these corrections would then become part of the retraining data set. On the Gen AI side, we are including, and this is something that we had started experimenting with early on in COVID as well. Basically, all this information also goes into an LLM, which is enabling you to make decisions based on simulations that are happening like at the back end. So for example, whether or not to have a lockdown, whether a 2-day lockdown works or a 3-day lockdown works, and this is working on a spatial level. These are just screenshots of like what it looks like on the end, like you have operations in many potholes and without potholes after they have been they've been worked upon, plantations and gathering of data for all of the highways. And this is like an average understanding of how the data flow is happening. These are the checks in place, the reconstruction mechanism. This is the main AI engine, which is being used for training and retraining of data as well. And then you have the final like retraining data being generated both by ground truthing and also by data collection on the ground. So that's us. We are a very small team of AI, ML, and geospatial engineers. Utkarsh and I am both co-founders who have started this company. We are Forbes 30 under 30. We studied at Johns Hopkins, came back to India, started this. We specialize in bringing emerging tech to population scale. And yeah, and we do have connects with our alma mater still, and we bring the expertise. So we are passionate about bringing emerging technology to the most rugged use cases in India. Thank you so much.
Hi, Aishi.
In such a way that we can work with multiple clients. So as of right now, we work with enterprises who have vested interests. Like for example, ESRI, KPMG, system integrators, all of these like enterprises would have vested interests in clients in multiple portfolios where we can scale horizontally. And that has been what has been working very well thus far. However, we do maintain our own like sales pipelines as well.
So what's the business model here? How do you make money?
We charge on a, yeah, now I could see who is asking the question. So we charge on a deployment basis, typically speaking. So we release the platform for a reconstruction pipeline and realize that for something like this, is probably required with very specialized organizations. So usually it's B2B, B2G. Usually it's on-prem. The largest part of it is licensing fee, which would be for a CR or plus. And then we would charge a variable quantity for per kilometer of data. So for example, the highway example you see, we get paid for every kilometer of highway analyzed on a monthly basis. So the average is somewhere around 20,000 kilometers on a monthly basis.
20,000 rupees a kilometer.
No, we charge around 1,000 rupees per kilometer. So 20,000 into, yeah.
And what's the revenue ARR if you have any?
So for the first few years, 2019 onwards, we have been cash flow positive. We have, I guess this question would also come, so I'm answering it beforehand. We have seen a split of 70-30 in our revenue on 2020. So private was 70%, 30% was government. During COVID, this completely shifted to 80-20 with more in favor of government. Now we're like sort of coming to a 50-50 split again. Our revenue has been increasing 2x every year, roughly speaking. This year, I'm expecting a revenue of around 4 CR, but a jump to an order book of around 15 CR for next year.
Thank you.
Can you talk a little bit about some of the other players? Like, is it really true that there is no competition here?
I wouldn't say there's no competition. Like if you bring in if somebody had to replicate the entire offering, they will have to bring in a lot of players with bits and pieces available. So for example, in the US, there is Drone Deploy, which is the largest provider of B2C drone reconstruction. And the AI bit of it is not as mature because it's largely aligned towards a developed country, smaller data set. The way India is using drones is slightly different than how developed countries are using them in terms of scale, primarily because of the need involved in it. And the other side of your question is like, what about like players in India? Most of them typically are not working. They started with drones and services. So largely speaking, the AI segment of it has very few players who are as yet doing like data integrations and AI segment. Yeah. A lot of this off-the-shelf AI algorithms are also only trained on satellite data. So you will need a very unique set of opportunities to be able to actually do this specifically. Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much, Ayushi.
Thank you so much for your time.
Our next presenter and pitch is from Robotics Innovation Private Limited. Request the participants to please stick to the time limit given.
Hi, good morning. Myself Afzal Utikal. I am the co-founder and director of Robotics Medical. So, before getting into the product, we would like to tell about a small story that how robotics changed the shape of Indian clean tech industry. So we started with building robotic exoskeleton, and we were thinking about how robotics can help humanity in a better way. So we came to know about that technology is rushing into outer space, and still nobody is looking into the depth of manhole, that how people are entering into the manhole and cleaning this dirty job. So we thought of solving this using robotics long back in 2018. So our Honorable Prime Minister launched the product called Bandicoot into India for cleaning manholes. So that is this is the change that we try to bring, that the man who is singing in the manhole is converted to a robotic operator using a Bandicoot technology. So this has been serving nearly 20 states in India, and it is actively supporting Swachh Bharat mission, the country's vision of making India the cleaner one. And we are very glad to receive the National Startup Award in 2020 for bringing this revolution of changing manholes to roboholes. So coming to the story, we never stopped thinking about how we can solve the most pressing social issues in our society using robotics. And we thought of making useful the robotic exoskeleton that we had developed from our long back in our college, making it very useful to the society. So we came to know about a most pressing social issue and a most pressing unattended issue called gait disability. So gait disability is something called that is happening due to mostly neuro disability. It comes under a neuro disability sector. So that is it happens due to stroke, spinal cord injury, Parkinson's, like this. So what is happening right now is like in India, nearly 13 million gait disability patients are there in India, and nearly 20 million stroke patients are there. And that is not the story of other countries as well. And this is a global issue as well. And conventionally, what is happening right now is that the current treatment method is that two therapists will help them to train walking the patients. So in the conventional treatment, the treatment is the basic thing that giving the patient the human level walking, training the patient for learn the how he want to walk and all. So what happens in the brain is that neuroplasticity will achieve. So for that, the current treatment method is that two therapists will help them to coordinate their hip, knee and ankle joints to making them walk and learn the walking. So in the conventional method, it is very limited on accuracy level, it is very limited on the number of steps they can put, and it is very difficult to repeat the same pattern. So we thought of making this into solve this issue in a two-step level. One is solve the issue of giving the most natural gait pattern using robotics. And the second level is introducing AI into this for giving the most natural gait pattern for a personalized rehabilitation. So it is different people will have required different gait patterns. So we introduced the most advanced AI gait trainer. So we call it as Gator, and we launched that is it is in last October 2022 October into the market, and it has been approved by Central Drug Control Authority, and also our Army Design Bureau has recognized the design. So how AI is helping and robotics is helping the gait training. It's like a highly accurate natural gait pattern we can provide through AI, and we can able to maintain consistency and accuracy in the gait pattern. For therapists and doctors, they will get better monitoring and better advice on the treatment methods and the efforts. Very simply, we can say if in the normal conventional way, we can't understand how he is putting an effort. We are not able to understand his improvement and all. And we have added a lot of safety features for the patient safety as well. So basically how AI is providing the help in the physical therapy. It's we introduced AI for understanding the gait analysis, and also with the AI we are able to provide the most personalized gait training. And not only AI, we have introduced VR technology. Mostly these people will be bedridden for a long time, and there will be lack of motivation. And we introduced the most new technology called GPAI. These movements and all things are introduced using the pneumatic technology, and that is first time in the country. And these are major clients: SP Welford Hospital, Astor Group, Tunnel Brain and Medicity, and General Hospital. Mostly our business are happening with B2B and B2G, and we have a sales model on outright sales model. We have done nearly 4 installations in a year, nearly 1 million steps, robotic steps as provided through Gator. And this small video.
The true freedom of life lies in the ability to move one's body independently and unrestrictedly. Yet, This freedom of mobility is being challenged by the increasing number of people affected by gait disabilities. In India, 13 million people live with gait disabilities, with over 8 lakh in Kerala alone. Shockingly, there are only 0.59 physiotherapists for every 10,000 people across the country, highlighting the immense challenges faced by those in need of mobility assistance. However, this cannot be forever. In the journey to solve issues existing in our society with robotic solutions, we have engineered the ultimate robotic gait rehabilitator, Gator, to guide you towards your dream of walking again a reality. Gator is designed for advanced robotic gait training, restoring mobility for those with impairments by integrating AI, robotics, and G-plot exoskeletons. Gator enables comfortable therapy sessions to both patients and therapists, enhancing their quality of life. Partnering with major healthcare providers including Aster Mother, SP Wellfort, General Hospital Trivandrum, and Tunnel Brain and Spine Med City, we envision to fill the gap in the physical medicine and rehabilitation and make robotic rehabilitation accessible to all people living with gait disabilities. Gator assures a novel rehabilitation experience to patients, therapists, and doctors. Together, let's harness the power of robotics to advance healthcare for the well-being of humankind.
So we wish to explore from India to the world and make the Indian healthcare robotics the best in the world, and that is our long-term vision. Thank you.
Yep. It's really a nice initiative.
Thank you, sir.
And so how much is the cost of treatment on an average per patient through this Gator?
We are actually given to multiple entities right now, from NGO, government, and private hospitals. So they are giving in a different way. Like through a government, it is giving at free of cost, and through NGO, they starts with per day session nearly 1,000 rupees per session. And in major healthcare, it's up to 15,000 they are giving as a package for foreign patients from abroad and all.
Okay, and on an average, how many sessions are required per patient?
Nearly 20 to 40 sessions for giving the brain that consistency, and nearly 20 minutes per day. We can treat 16 patients on a day shift.
Okay. So it will be nearly around 30,000 rupees per patient for, right?
Nearly, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Fine.
Almost a follow-up on his question. Can you talk a little bit about the demand for this solution?
Sorry?
Can you talk about the demand?
It's like we introduced that we are from the south part of India, and we were a small team on the Gen Robotics Medical. So we thought of concentrating it on Kerala market initially. So that becomes a huge impact. Like the PMR department, those who give this treatment, physical medicine and rehabilitation department. So so we are trying to bring that awareness to this particular department, because they are not having enough tool to elevate the existing therapy and this thing and all. So we done some small awareness campaign and things like that, and all this entity, you can notice that from government, NGO, and major health groups are trying to put investing on this particular department to enhance and all. So we believe that this is going to be a new emerging area, and we believe that nearly 250 to nearly 600 crores market in India itself for the advanced version. And yeah.
So to summarize on that point, as you know, every radiology department needs a CT who is specialized on that. So coming ahead, every rehabilitation department who is specialized needs a Gator. That's it.
Can you talk a little bit about sort of how you're using AI in your solution? I mean, we get the robotics and the VR part, but can you talk a little bit about what AI you're using and how you're using it?
So basically, we made it simple. Like to understand a particular human walking, there are different parameters like his range of motions, walking step length, and like femur length, this kind of thing. So we we took 4 to 5 years of research to bring this innovation. So major part of the research is went for creating that trained model. So the trained model have the data of different type of humans walking pattern. Like the walking pattern is different for, we call it as gait cycle. So the gait cycle is different for different persons. So we made a data model, and this is having an AI algorithm that predicts the data received from the exoskeleton and understand which type of gait is required from that algorithm, and it provides the most human natural gait pattern.
So how many can you produce in a year, and what's the capacity required?
So currently, from this financial year onwards, we are trying to expand to the Indian other states and markets. So currently we have a capacity, currently what is happening right now is that we're giving a 3 months of time for production in an advanced PO. So we are trying to understand that how the Indian market is responding and all. So we have a capacity nearly 250 to 250 robots per year to produce and all, because we have a plan already for developing robots for clean tech and sanitation and all. So the capacity is like we can produce nearly 10 to 15 in a month for Gator. Yeah.
And what's the cost of each one of them?
We are selling it in like a different model. Like there's a platform model, and that is a higher model that is having all the AI features and all. So the price varies between 1.5 CR to 2.2 CR.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
And yeah.
Jai Hind.
Excuse me, one more please.
Sure,
So this 1.5 CR is the market price or the production cost of one machine?
It's a market price, sir.
And what's the production cost of this one machine?
I
just wish to know the percentage of the margin which you are having.
Yeah, there's what we can say. Yeah.
Approximately comes to 30%.
30%, yeah.
30%.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you so much. The next pitch is by Nine India Science and Technologies Private Limited.
Good morning. So good morning, everyone. I very much appreciate the conversations that are happening in the panels downstairs, and all the dignitaries and officials who've come from all over the world to Delhi and this amazing auditorium. I also want to thank all the jury members for your time and your patience. Very briefly about the company. I'm introducing Nayan. I'm the co-founder for Nayan. I have Tushar Morea from IT Delhi also co-founding Nayan. We are representing a company based out of Delhi. We are headquartered in Delhi and a subsidiary in Dubai as well. Currently, Nayan is spread across 17 cities. We are focused on the model and the market of visual data collection across various territories of the world. So what we collect, everything from advertising to road defects, to traffic violations, to safety, to various mobility issues, and we collect them using an arsenal of cameras on every fleet, and we collect them through our own manufactured dash cams, as well as now drones integrated through multiple freelance sources. Currently, we are in an order book of 19 crore in the last 3 months itself. We are raising around 14 crore, that's about $1.5 million, out of which 10 crore rupees has already been received from various big investors. Briefly about the journey. So we began, the company began with myself driving an Uber. So I wanted to explore what is the need of a common man, the lowest earning wage groups of the country, of every discipline. What is the need? How much money can they make? So I did this experiment for 3 months. And the journey began into understanding that a driver actually does not make a lot of money. So Ola, Uber, Swiggy, Zomato people on the roadways, they're some of the lowest earning people across the globe. And that is me and that's my car. So we decided to take on an Uberish sort of a model wherein the lowest economy can fuel the biggest of cities and governments and departments. So one of the systems that we designed is now covering multiple cities. This is one example, and this is one lady in Bangalore. My background is in robotics and artificial intelligence. I graduated Georgia Tech in 2011. And this is my third company. Also, we are also now some of the biggest customers, including DARPA and US Defense Services. We did a lot of very interesting work for them. Happy to talk that offline. The power and the USP of Nayan is the ability to address all the cameras that are even in your pocket. So today, if you go online and type in Nayan in Play Store, download the app, put it on your car while you go back home, automatically you'll get points for every data point that you collect that is servicing one municipality or traffic or some of the other. So we integrate all the data points. There's a lot of business to be done for a lot of savings that a lot of insurance companies, B2B players, governments, all of them are doing. The collection model is very simple. Collect the data, enhance the data, deliver the data. And the pipeline continues. We are now nearly in 17 cities with around 40 in pipeline, a number of fleets, both from Ola, Uber, Swiggy, Zomato, all the low income wage groups of the country. All the fleets are our partners, every DTC bus. So we're integrating more cities as we go, as well as all the women players. So all the data collection that happens through a social empowerment mission for us, 90% of our data enrichment happens through all the women in villages. So low-income group women, and we supply them with an application, and they help enrich the data that we fuel the AI with. This is our impact to the society. We have 70 plus patents. Half of them are already granted, both in India, US, and major markets. We are the #1 IP holder at our stage. A very quick, brief video of how the system works. So this is interesting to note that there are multiple issues. This is Delhi. If you identified a few, let's play a few. So traffic violations, municipal issues, vehicles overloading. This is a typical Delhi scenario for a driver and all of us going back and forth from home. Overloading of goods, wrong side driving, municipal issues, infrastructure damage, safety violations, road surfacing, red lights not working, potholes. The same situation applies to all subcontinent countries, the same in Africa, same in all midtown, downtown areas in the US. It is not an isolated problem in India. If you can collect data in large scales, you can automate municipalities, get the O&M cost of municipalities under control. So our biggest force has been to be part of the O&M infrastructure of every single city. Consume that 1% to 10% of a city, the numbers are staggering. And the fact that we've got 19 crores in the last 3 months is resolute. So this is the data collection for municipalities. Collect through fleets, no capex, deliver the data, and let the O&M of the city be controlled. Insurance companies, all the defects in all the vehicles, all the fraud happening in the insurance sector, each one of it, collect the data, simple, and deliver the data on demand. Traffic violations, we are now partnered with so many departments in the country. There's so many of these cameras, all crowdsourced. If you have a camera on top of a building for your own safety, lend it to a city. Allow them to safeguard you and everybody else and catch things, and you get rewards in return, and the city saves capex, so tax money gets saved. The same in Dubai. We've released this system in Dubai as well. Dubai Police with IBM was our customer. IBM was our biggest B2B customer till date. And the same system, it's very crowdsourced. You can add all these cameras. The system has been deployed in several cities. So this is a municipal map of multiple cities and how we collect and isolate issues pan-city for an O&M model for a municipality. Roadways, traffic situations. The system works very agnostically. This is a normal road. And as you move to an Uber guy, he's analyzing the road while he's driving and picking up his customers. Very economical, no extra capex needed. Same for G20, we did a survey from the airport till Pragati Maidan and found out the areas with the maximum greenery for dignitaries. Very simple, and normal bike guy, Uber guy, driving and collecting data. pipeline is closed from collections, retraining, deep learning, and then redeployment. This is our patent as well, deployed to multiple different countries and multiple patents on the same. The cost is very nominal because the IP is ours. We don't license. Everything is ground up. So its cost is very nominal, 200 rupees a kilometer, 200 rupees an hour. The data for these different industries are what we're doing at the moment. Deployment for us span all the cities, and we're very proud of all the fleets. They are an inspiration to me to become an Uber driver as well. And personally, we enjoy working with the fleets of the country. They help us explore the whole country. Data is Pokemonized, so the Pokemon model applies. Your system, your app, today if you go back home, you'll collect points for every issue that your phone detects. And these data points go back to the city, you get rewards. That's our astounding team. Tushar, my co-founder from IIT Delhi also. He is part of the AI and leading the entire infra. All our investors as well. We've got some very good investors. They've guided us all the way through our journey. We're also funded through syndicates, and our venture capital be next for a seed round. We are exploring a market size of 75 billion in India itself. We focus India and Middle East currently. And most of our customers are spread across cities, drones, logistics companies, and some of the other ones. Done about 6.9 crore rupees in contracts and 19 crore in orders currently. We'll end the year at 6.1. Raising a $1.5 million round. Unit economics, it's the best. We'll give you statistics offline, but the yellow parts are the areas we want to be for the next year. We've won some of the biggest awards from Mahua, Ministry of Urban Affairs, PMO office, for ground root, low-cost empowerment of people and allowing cities to get help from the lowest economies of scale. So it's helped us win a lot of acclamation. A lot of articles have released on how this is helping cities and how they're solving issues. So it's a very societal saving problem, and we've deployed in many countries as well, both in Middle East as well. We launched last year. Thank you for all the patience, and I'm happy to answer any questions.
The obvious question is about privacy, so please answer.
So what happens with under the local laws of the country as well as GFRA, both in Europe and the US, you are not allowed to identify someone. So no personally identifiable information. But municipal is mostly concerned about road potholes, garbage. So as you drive through the system, the AI on the apps is detecting the things of interest for an end customer. Could be a pothole, garbage. The rest of it is obfuscated, delivered, obfuscated to the end customer. So there's no identity theft, or even though if you hack the link and you get the data, everything is already blurred and the links expire. There's a lot of security protocols that we've put in place. So privacy is taken care, unless it's a government department like a security department asking for someone's picture, then we have that provision.
I'm sure you guys must be tracking the EU AI Act. They just had something big on using people's face and using that for demographics. And as you know, some of those laws may be adopted in other countries, so just kind of watch the privacy stuff.
Oh, you mean our networked people who are working with us?
Correct, and just being able to detect people's face, even though you're not processing that data, just because your system is capturing it, it might get you in trouble.
Oh, so it's similar to the GFRA guidelines permitted for Google Street View in India and multiple, even Europe. So you can see Google Street View, but all the faces and plates will be blurred. So the laws have allowed Street View and survey of cities without identification of data. We've also done one deployment pilot in Austin, as well as one in Vienna. Even in Africa, Nigeria, we're doing one pilot right now. So long as the faces and the plates of any identifiable information is not present, the data can be released to a focused one-on-one customer. But we're also doing advertising. So a lot of advertisements pan-city are going to B2Bs, purely McDonald's versus Raymond versus Maneuver, and Nike versus Adidas. So you can do a lot of comparative analysis for data. But so it's not restricted to only O&M for business, governments or anything on those lines. It's a SaaS platform, build for a kilometer, build for a data point. and delivered for whatever you want. It could be advertising, could be potholes, could be a school bus driving crazy, your own maybe car getting stolen. So it's very focused on end-to-end customers, purely SaaS. Right?
Hi, I'm Mei-Lin Feng from the People-Centered Internet. Your answer about privacy talked about, anonymity, but you also in your presentation talked about insurance companies, traffic violations.
Yes.
Clearly, for monitoring those kinds of things, you have to actually track people. I wonder actually how much you are using or learning from what's going on in India with the data empowerment protection architecture deeper, and how this all works together.
Very good. So that question can be answered simply that traffic violations are only done for a government traffic department asking for that part. We normally at NAYAN focus on municipals, B2Bs, survey of defects, infrastructure, and so on. That is a native business, advertising and so on. But if the government players come on board and they said, we are spending 10 crore rupees, could you do it in 1 crore? Can you help us fight these traffic violations? Then a system for them is designed, deployed on site with a micro cloud position on their premises. The data goes to them. We deploy a team there as a single unit. We've done this same for Ahmedabad, now Bangalore and some other cities. So we are not doing it voluntarily. It's done on demand on the customer site. What we do, we play Pokemon. So collect defects on issues and advertising and deliver it to businesses. Nothing to do with traffic violations or safety or any of those, unless there's the government asking for it.
So what is in it for people who are collecting data? I'm here, right in front.
So, hi. So data collection, you get points depending on the demand. So let's say if Nike wants to fight Adidas or Manewar wants to find Raymond, they want to know, I'll give you points every time you find a Raymond advertisement on the roadway. So if your phone
I'm
detects...
talking about the potholes and...
So if the municipality wants potholes on a priority against garbage, so the point system for potholes is higher. If the garbage system goes up because some event is coming up, the points for the garbage goes higher. So it's a stock market. So as
and how do I redeem those points?
you redeem in cash on a daily basis directly to your bank accounts or wallet or Paytm wallet.
And municipality pays for it?
NAYAN pays for it. The municipality pays NAYAN to manage the fleets and so on.
How much is that part of your cost?
So we net every project. I'll disclose, we are netting above 50%. The margins are significantly high. Our gross is almost 80% plus. So the net is very high. All the data collection is actually very, very nominal because there's no capex. The data belongs to the fleet and the fuel belongs to him, car belongs to him, phone belongs to him. It's only an app that he downloads, so it's very low cost for us. And points system can be kept as low, 20 paisa, 5 paisa per point and so on. But they accumulate about 5 to 10% of their monthly income on a month. So it's very catchy, very sticky. So, yeah.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Next up, we have Neodocs Healthcare Private Limited. Again, just a reminder to just try and stick to time.
Hi, good morning, everyone. My name is Nikunj Malpani. I am one of the co-founders of Neodocs. We are leveraging AI to build low-cost diagnostics on any phone. Neodocs was started by 3 of us, Anurag, Prateek, and myself. All 3 of us are alumni of IIT Bombay. Now, even though we are from the same college, our experience is very different. Anurag has been a 3-time medtech entrepreneur. He's built 2 other healthcare startups previously, one in software, one in hardware. Prateek, on the other hand, has been involved with AI ML. He's worked with leading US banks, helping them solve for credit card fraud detection models. I, on the other hand, worked at a consulting firm called Bain. And in this endeavor, we've been guided by some amazing advisors, one of them being Dr. Rohit Srivastav, who till recently was the HOD of Biomedical Department at IIT Bombay. Now, we all know health tracking is becoming a cultural phenomenon globally. We are exercising more often, we're taking more healthy alternative supplements, and we're testing more often. And no, this is not just a Western phenomenon. This is happening in India as well. We're getting proactively tested more often, home sample collection is increasing, we all want results faster and faster. And at the same time, the diagnostics industry has evolved in a very, very interesting manner. 50 years ago, diagnostic labs were set up. Around 15 years ago, we started having this home sample collection model where a phlebotomist comes home, collects a sample. 10 years ago, we started having fitness wearables. And today, the time is right to build your own diagnostics on the phone. And we're leveraging AI to replace the lab machine with a phone camera while retaining the same clinical grade accuracy. This is how it works. We have a test card. You can see it in my hand also. It's this tiny little test card. This one is a urine-based one. You dip the bottom part in urine, take it out, click a photo using our app, and in 30 seconds you have the results. It's as easy as that. We're currently live with multiple test products. In urine, we have something for early detection of chronic kidney disease. We have something for instant detection of urinary tract infection. We are also detecting high-risk pregnancy. And next, we are moving into blood. We are building various things like vitamin D, lipid profile, HbA1c, also other tests in urine and saliva. My colleague Yash will pass on a few samples now. Essentially, we are building a tech platform that can read almost 80% of diagnostic biomarkers using a smartphone. One of the interesting customer acquisition strategies we are adopting is a AI-based smart report analyzer. You can upload any medical report. Within a matter of seconds, we revert back with a much more simplified version along with non-medical next steps. Talking a little about our go-to-market strategy, we are heavily B2B focused as of now. We are working with doctors, pharma companies, with some of the leading names like AstraZeneca, Bayer, Cipla. We are also working with the government of Maharashtra, government of Rajasthan. We are also partnering with a lot of other healthcare companies, nutraceuticals, fitness, women health, and also we have presence across e-commerce. I'll deep dive into two of them. We partner with pharma companies. We find synergies with pharma companies. We partner with them. Their fleet on street help us distribute these kits to thousands of doctors across India. This enables doctors to do low-cost, instant testing in their clinic, essentially diagnosing more and more patients. The market size increases. Doctors are happy, pharma companies are happy, we are happy. So this is how the model works over here. Second, with the government, we have deployed our kits at more than 150 PHCs and primary health centers and sub-centers across Nasik in Maharashtra and Ladnu in Rajasthan. We are doing paid projects. We have identified more than 2,500 high-risk pregnancies, more than 400 chronic kidney disease patients. We've been backed by some leading investors like Omidyar, Titan Capital, 9 Unicorns, founder of Cloud9 Hospitals, founders of 1MG, Apollo Hospitals, Narayana Healthcare. Thank you. I've got time remaining, so I'll use it for a couple of more things. So this is how the technology works. We basically are using two kinds of technology, lateral flow assay and colorimetric assay. Now, both of these are based on color changes or intensity changes, which till now used to happen in a lab machine, and we are replicating the same thing using a smartphone camera. Two of the major risk factors is external lighting conditions can vary, and second, phone camera lenses are different. So we are using AI/ML in order to standardize all of these images and give you the right value. We use two different applications. One is for the customer. The one you see on the left is for the customer. If you take this test home, you do this at home, that's the one for you. And the second one is for healthcare providers, doctors, paramedics, or their assistants. They do the test and they share the report with you. We've filed for various patents. We've received all the certifications. Of course, after we did that, the question was about accuracy. We've done a clinical validation study at Sion Hospital in Mumbai, achieving a specificity of 99% and sensitivity of 96%. Another study is currently ongoing with AstraZeneca at Manipal Hospital in Bangalore. Thank you so much.
Yeah, hi. So is it only for the urine test or blood too?
No, we're building for blood too now. We started with urine because no pricking involved, easy to collect. In blood, we are building for the private market vitamin D, HbA1c, lipid profile, and for the public market, sickle cell anemia, hemoglobin. In fact, we have a stall in the other auditorium at G4. We are doing a live hemoglobin finger prick test also over there on the phone.
Sure, I would like to visit over there also. And so how would you like to go with the blood tests?
So it's a finger prick test, similar to how diabetic people do with a glucometer, except that there's no glucometer. There's only a strip and your phone. So we have done away with any external piece of hardware in this.
Okay. And the accuracy test will come afterwards, right? Once you are done with that.
Yes, in the blood ones, once we launch, we'll do the accuracy testing.
And how much is your margin for this? You are selling it for in the market for?
So the MRP of the one you're holding in your hand is 249. Our cost is around 16 rupees. So we are operating at very good margins. However, our majority business is B2B. So we give it at between 80 rupees to 100 rupees. Still operating at a very healthy margin.
All right, great. Thank you.
Maybe a question on your revenue, right? It seems like if this works the way you mentioned, 99% and 96%, then you could essentially scale and world domination, right? How are you guys thinking about scaling this solution outside of India or maybe even within India in other states?
So one thing we understand, we're working in healthcare and it's a fairly innovative product. So there's trust, education, awareness. Second, there's medical licenses also. So we are trying to build via doctors so that that trust and awareness is built. So for example, with AstraZeneca, we are scaling in other international markets. So we're exploring Vietnam, Cambodia, Malaysia, Philippines, Sri Lanka, and so on. Recently, we were at Slush in Helsinki, so also exploring European partnerships over there. Doing some pilots in Africa as well. Yes, same accuracy, because it's urine samples, and essentially we work on photospectrometry or colorimetry. So it doesn't really differ across different continents or...
Suggestion is go direct B2C.
Sorry?
Suggestion is to go direct B2C. Doctors, trust, all that is really, it can be avoided and the price can be brought down to 80 for a general patient also.
Okay, I have one more. Here it is. Yeah. So how are you planning to compete with other market players? For example, those having those in the market, the pregnancy test kits are there and the diabetes kits are there. So how you are planning to compete with those?
It's funny
and
that
because the price seems to be relatively cheaper as compared to yours.
Yes. It's funny that you mentioned that. Just last month, we launched our own version of a pregnancy test kit. One of the major problems with pregnancy tests is that a lot of people are unsure whether they have done the test correctly, what does a faint line mean, and so on. I'm sure all the recent married couples might agree to that. Hence, we've launched a test kit extremely similar to Prega News, that is the market leader, except that we have a free app on top of that. So this one is not a pregnancy test. Here, people assume us to be competing with diagnostic labs. The pregnancy tests are much cheaper, and that's a different test.
The diabetes one also?
So in diabetes, we are not doing blood glucose. We'll be doing HbA1c, which is the right metric, the 3-month average. The glucose is a very fickle parameter. It can, from morning to evening also, it can rise up and down. So we'll be doing HbA1c in that.
Okay.
Hi, I co-wrote a paper with the principal investigator for the EU Biobank, and it seems like the possibility of using the data you're collecting for scientific research could be extremely powerful for global health. I'm just wondering if you've considered that.
Yes, absolutely. So for example, we went to Finland just a couple of weeks ago and met with the Indian embassy over there, and we realized how rich digital data set Nordic countries have. So definitely looking at that kind of a partnership. And it helps that margins in those areas are much better than in India.
Yeah. Right.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Next up, we have Newsera Tech Labs Private Limited.
morning, esteemed jury and fellow innovators. I represent Newsera, and we are revolutionizing news with AI. The larger vision at Newsera is to envision the community which is informed and connected. My name is Shrey Sharma. I'm the founder and CEO of Newsera. Little bit of a background about me. So I graduated from IIT Kharagpur. I did my bachelor's and master's in computer science, where I presented my original research paper on analyzing facts and knowledge bases. I designed a completely new ad serving platform for a SF startup, and we were acquired by AWS. I designed the recommendation system at Pinterest back in 2019, which powers 40% of their website. At Newsera, we have an amazing team of software engineers, fact checkers, designers, and HR admin. So almost 1 in 2 Indians every day are affected by fake news. People are not trusting the traditional media. The trust is declining. Due to the lack of personalization, we end up by having either too much information or too little of an information. All of these factors combined are driving down the news literacy to an all-time low metric. Introducing News GPT. This is the world's most advanced AI system designed for news. News GPT is a LLM-based state-of-the-art solution. It understands what the news is from the internet. It recognizes what a news content is. It does the extraction. It maintains the history of publishers to determine their trust score. We have built some amazing guardrails here to prevent fake news, to reduce bias, hallucinations, to improve safety, privacy, and with our human-in-the-loop solution, for the most extreme cases, we are ensuring a very high level of certainty that we filter out the fake news. Overall, the model is multimodal, which means it can produce text, image, audio, and video. It is highly personalized. We are designed to be multilingual, but we are offering 2 of the languages in the pilot program, English and Hindi. Overall, News GPT has huge potential, both in B2B and B2C segments. We have started with our B2C. It's called Newsera app, which is available on Play Store and App Store. And it is powered by News GPT. With the power of AI-driven news generation, we are able to personalize the news experience for each individual. There is no fake news. The form factor of the news is available in multiple form factors of text and video and audio and image. And since social media is the #1 source of news consumption nowadays, we have designed it to be natively social. Overall, we have had over 10K monthly active users in the last 4 months. And the results that we have calibrated is the enhanced news literacy. In terms of our business model, it is for the B2C segment, the Newsera app, we are going to be earning money using native ads and paid subscription. It is having very healthy unit economics of 3:1 LTV to CAC. We are expected to make the major chunk of our money from B2B offerings, which is going to be launching in the next few months, which will be around the fact check as a service for fresh content generation based on facts and trends. And since we have had a lot of experience building this authentic AI system, we are also going to be releasing some GenAI builder tools for other enterprises to make safe and responsible AI systems at scale. We are mostly bootstrapped with capital infusions from debts and grants. I'm specifically very proud of the fact that we have been awarded the best startup in the world by AngelList. This is the official quote for them. And they have an open commitment to invest in us under their AngelList early stage quant fund. Apart from this, I'm very proud that we are recognized by Startup India. We are members of elite NASSCOM Deep Tech Club, and recently we were also awarded the Pride of MP Award by the Chief Minister of MP. In terms of our long-term vision and global impact, Newsera aligns with UN's SDG 4 and 16 by promoted informed decision-making, combating misinformation, and thereby increasing news literacy. In the next 5 years, we want to be the industry leader in AI-driven journalism, and we want to promote building safe, responsible, and authentic AI systems. In terms of our internal strategy, we plan to invest heavily in the innovations in AI, in Gen AI, having a lot of partnerships with media, tech, and institutions for fair data use, and also going to be launching globally, covering different geographies in different languages. Fake news is the biggest problem of our generation, the way I see it. And we are solving fake news. We are increasing news literacy. It is important for the world that we succeed, because the way we consume news shapes our societies, our policies, and our future. Let us see how Newsera is impacting people's lives right now.
This is Devraj Sirani.
Hi, my name is Devika. Hi, I'm Nupur, and I'm just been to the Newsera office.
I have been an early app tester of Newsera.
It had concise and interesting things. I liked the interactive feature that was on the app, because I've never seen a news app being interactive. To have a clear app which gives you the right amount of information and the right authenticity of the information is really a blessing.
And as for the app, I have no doubt it will be a great success.
So stop by booth G7 at the Expo and talk to us. News GPT, the potential of the technology is immense, and we are going to be one of the industry leaders and disrupting how the news is generated at these present times. Thank you very much.
Questions, please.
Thank you. This was a fantastic presentation. Actually, I have 3 questions for you, but they're all related. The first one is, how do you think about news polarization? Polarization.
So we typically deal with the hard facts of the news. And when we scan the news, we extract all the hard facts, and that is what our news is based on. There is no polarization, there is no bias in the news.
The second one is, as you know, a lot of social media companies are getting away from publishing news because of licensing. How do you guys get away with that?
So overall, in whatever geographies we are going to be operating, we intend to fully comply with the laws of privacy, with the laws of news, with the laws of aggregators. And the way it will work for us is having strong partnerships with media and tech and governments. And overall, when we are going to be revenue positive, we are going to be doing the revenue sharing, and that is how we intend to operate.
Okay, and the last one is, from the B2C model, you're charging 100 to 400 rupees, where someone can get news for free, right? Like, what is the demand? What evidence do you have that people will be willing to pay for that?
So overall, there are 2 models. One is going to be the native ads, and second is going to be the paid subscription model for the ad-free experience. So in India or in the developing countries, it's going to be more focused towards the native ads. But I feel like, some upper segments of the society are going to be paying for such subscription charges for ad-free experience, and especially more true for the developed countries. Yes. Yeah.
They scan the fake news. Fake news is in the social media.
So
But you said about print media, that is wrong.
So overall, the report that we see in the graph statistics, it is from the consumer endpoint of how they are seeing things around the news. It's not tied to one specific kind of media, but this is the report from US, and it is mostly biased towards like more than 60% of people are getting news using social media, and that is from the consumer side of things if they believe what they are seeing as part of news. It is not actually focused on print media or traditional media. It is just from the consumer side of experience.
Yeah, hello.
Yes.
Yeah. Will you please briefly explain that how you are using AI technically to eliminate the fake news, and are you also going to deal with the deep fakes?
Yes. So we have a very interesting algorithm where we track the history of publishers, what they have published over the years, and based on that, there is an AI system which assigns a trust score. And in terms of like, when we take a link or when we take a piece of news, we try to understand if there are at least 5 trusted publishers who have published the similar kind of news. And that is how it is claimed as it's a correct news. And it's a very transparent system. In our app, when you start using it, it's available on App Store, Play Store. You will be able to see that, what are the sources which are supporting it. And by the very foundation of the things, we do score things based on trusted publishers. So we have a very high confidence what they're publishing is true. Deepfakes, yes, the plan is in the future, but right now the use case of the model is like more from the business side of things to be able to generate news. So for deepfakes, I think more of the category will come when we are trying to vet the consumer data, when people are generating data and we are trying to vet if it's fake or real. It is a possibility for us in the future, but right now we are diving into the other use case. Any more questions?
So you're primarily aggregating the news, kind of curating it, scanning it, and then putting it. You are not going to the original source of news per se, right?
Yes, that is correct. We are going to be forming data partnerships for the original source of data.
So is it right to say that you could also do a B2B model where you give a feedback to the other medias, giving them, you can just be a SaaS model for that matter. Can you be?
Yes, that is definitely on the cards, and I think that is the major source of revenue in the future for us. Also, not just the fact check as a service, we are going to be working with a lot of news data. So the kind of LLM that will be trained for news generation or news, any of the use cases in the future, this model is going to be better than all the LLMs out there.
So which one is a better case for you? Is it the B2C model or it is the B2B model?
Definitely B2B
From a
model.
B2B model.
Yeah.
I thought so. Thanks.
Yes, please, go ahead.
Okay, thank you very much. So I would like to ask, how can you be sure that the news that you are presented are actually not biased? Because like a quick example, in every government around the world, there are some sources of news that are in favor of them, and there are others that are against. So who's the referee, or how can you be sure that you have an unbiased opinion on that?
Sure. So as I mentioned, we only deal with the hard facts. We have the AI which is built into the system where it takes the news article and it only gets the hard facts, right? It removes all the opinions, it removes all the bias. So our job is to present the right facts to the people. And obviously, I mentioned that in our B2C offering, this is more of a social platform. So people have their free speech, they can form opinions, but getting the right facts to them on time, that is the purpose for us. And we ensure that there's no bias or polarization in that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So one question.
Yes.
So what type of LLMs are you using? Are you using Chat GPT enterprises or open sources LLMs?
So we are using open source, and like we have trained it on a lot of news data. Internally, it is based on one of the open source Llama 2.
Llama 2, fair enough. Thank you.
One question from my end here.
So sorry.
Yes.
Just one question on sort of, you mentioned you look at the hard facts from different news sources. Given that you're extracting information from different news articles, how would you deal with the issue of copyright? Given that this is sort of published articles by other people.
So great question. The answer is through the right partnerships. Right now, we have partnerships with around 10 publishers, including newswires and news publishers. And in terms of how or why will they give data to us, it's going to be we are building services in the news industry, so it's going to be more of a symbiotic relationship. And later on, if we are going to be monetizing this data, we are going to be doing revenue sharing with them. Any more questions? Thank you.
Thank you so much. Just in the interest of time, we will keep the questions limited from the jury members. Yes, thank you very much. Moving to the next startup we have today, Cure AI Technologies Private Limited.
Hello everyone, this is Ankit Modi, founder and head of products at Cure.ai. Thank you everyone for taking the time to listen to our story. Firstly, about the company, we were founded in 2016 with a very simple idea of if Facebook can detect our friends in everyday pictures, can't we use the same technology to identify disease and their symptoms from medical images, right? So we work on disease areas like TB, lung cancer, stroke, trauma care, and we work with various healthcare partners spread across public health, private health, population health, pharma and medtech, and various policy shaping organizations. Some of our marquee investors include Novo Holdings, Health Quad, Sequoia India, and Fractal. We work with more than 1.5 billion images in our repository and are deployed in 80 plus countries now. Coming to the problem statement, what we have seen is that the global TB burden, like more than 1 billion people have the TB bacteria, 10 million patients are feeling ill due to TB, and greater than 1 million patients are dying because of it. So if you look at the TB care cascade, most of the dropouts or the problems are in the first two stages where not enough people are being diagnosed with TB. If they are diagnosed, then the last three stages, there are a lot of dropouts in treatment monitoring, follow-up management, etc. India has set up a more aggressive goal than the world, which is 2030, but India's goal is to eradicate TB by 2025. And we'll talk about how Cure.ai is solving some of these issues in the care cascade. Coming to the product, we call our chest X-ray AI algorithm QXR, which is an autonomous read of a chest X-ray. As you can see, it can highlight areas of the chest X-rays which are abnormal, create a natural language report, and alert doctors about patients who are susceptible to TB, lung cancer, heart failure, etc. This takes care of the problems of the first part of the care cascade where not enough patients are being diagnosed, because just sharing some numbers, in US there is one radiologist for every 10,000 people, while the same number in India is 100,000. We also work with countries like Lesotho, where there's just one radiologist for the entire country. So there's severe lack of expertise in reading radiology exams, specifically chest x-rays in our scenario. The second part of the solution is the mobile and web-based app, which takes care of everything else except AI, which basically means that it digitalizes the program of TB screening. People can register patients, they can collaborate with each other, they can fill out forms, and then the program managers can also monitor the efficiency of the programs. And that's done through the dashboards and real-time notifications that we provide. The solution was evaluated independently by WHO, and it was the only Indian AI company to be recommended by WHO to be used in TB screening in absence of human readers, which means that you can directly rely on the AI algorithm for TB screening in such scenarios. This was acquired 3 years ago. We have also been evaluated by Stop TB, a policy-shaping organization, on a massive scale, which was on more than 23,000 patients. Companies across the world participated in it, and Cure.ai came on top of it based on the accuracies and other metrics determined by the organization. The research paper related to it was published on The Lancet, which is the best medical journal in the world. We are also innovating in terms of the screening models. So some of the things that we have done is that while patients are being screened for TB, the chest x-ray is being taken, right? So the same chest x-ray can also be evaluated for signs of lung cancer, heart failure. So this is what we call integrated TB screening programs. We are also working towards occupational health screening, where TB screenings are being combined with signs of pneumoconiosis and silicosis. We are also working on settings of prison-based screening, which is a huge problem because TB patients there are confined in a small space, and the susceptibility for contamination to other patients is really high. Our AI is truly made in India for the world. While we started with India and we are in 25 states, 370 sites, processing 2.1 million scans, we have also expanded in last 3 years to 80 countries, 1,800 sites, and 10 million plus scans have been processed through our software. Looking at the impact, what we have seen is that as compared to before AI and post AI, 25% more TB patients are being detected, which were being missed because they were not showing early signs of TB. So basically what happens is that if a patient comes in the hospital with signs of TB, he or she is getting recognized pretty well. But there are patients who are coming for different reasons, right? Be it cough, be it pneumonia, and they are taking a chest x-ray anyways. So the AI is deployed in a surveillance-based model where if there is sign of TB, they are immediately pushed to the TB care pathway. And with that, we have seen 25% additional TB cases being detected. We have been able to reduce the cost of TB detection by 50% because earlier the costly post-screening microbiological tests were given to a huge portion of patients, but now that has been reduced because it's being given to only patients that are flagged at high risk by the algorithm. The reduction time has been reduced by 99% because, and due to which what's happening is that instead of in 3 weeks, the patient is being detected in 2 hours, and that's saving his health as well as preventing him from spreading TB into his or her communities. Our business model is, we do direct sales with public health implementation partners, indirectly with distributors, and donor-funded projects like USAID, UNITAID, and Global Fund. The team building it, so we are a 4-member founder team. Prashant Warrior, CEO, is a serial entrepreneur, having sold and built AI companies before. I have 10 years of experience in building AI products in my lifetime. Preetham, Chief AI Officer, and Rohit, Chief Commercial Officer, are from IIT Bombay. But apart from that, we have a strong 70-member team. We have 50+ clinicians working with us. So it's a very good collaboration of technologists and clinicians working together. Finally, our goal is to conclude and touch 1 billion lives. What we have seen in the last 6 years is that while the intelligence might be artificial, if the intent and the emotions driving it are real and human, there is no limit to the impact that can be created. Thank you.
Great job, Ankit. I mean, anyway, a well-known startup. So tell me, you are still going up to X-ray where there are technologies which can detect this way early than that. So have you are you thinking of going upstream on that?
Oh, for sure. We are working on, we had already worked on chest X-rays. The follow-up tests after chest X-ray is something like a chest CT for, say, for example.
No, I'm saying even before that, early detection. There are cuff acoustics which can detect today. Right. There are breath analyzer which can detect that. Yeah. Are you working upstream or not?
So what we have done is that we have enabled on our platform to upload cuff sounds for patients, and we are integrating with other AI companies who are able to analyze that and then give the same alert to the patient. So instead of building everything ourselves, we are focusing on imaging AI and bringing together other AI partners on our platform to solve the other things.
I just asked because you have a large data set.
Oh yeah, for sure, yeah. But that's mostly imaging and radiology reports.
So that brings me to imaging and radiology. Yeah. Are you thinking about moving into different radiology and imaging, you know, AI-based this thing, anything that you can tell us about?
We are definitely working on foundational models and generative AI and looking at longitudinal data sets right from EMR to imaging to clinical discharge reports. But still very early stage, we are just trying to see what is possible and what can be achieved there. But definitely a lot of R&D efforts are going there.
And sorry, I'm asking too many questions, but I'm very intrigued.
Please do, yeah.
What's the cost for the patient of doing this, or to the doctor for that matter?
Yeah, so we work on an yearly license model, and we are mostly B2B. The costs are basically a cut from the radiology report. So just to give you a sense, a radiologist gets 50 rupees in India to read a chest X-ray, while it can be anywhere between $15 to $20, which is like 1,000 plus rupees in US. So based on different markets, the pricings are different. Overall, we operate at a gross margin of around 70%.
And what is the uptake? I mean, are these being used? I saw your large footprint, but what is the revenue that you are getting right now on an annualized basis? Any idea? So we know what is the uptake then.
Right. So we are, we have seen 2,000% improvement in the revenue in the last 2 years. And current year, we should be closing in and around $20 million.
In your revenue?
In your revenue, yeah.
Wow, congrats. Are you still a startup?
If Flipkart is a startup, then yeah.
One question for me, I remember about 10 years ago, I worked for GE Healthcare, and we did similar things. So what did you do? Like, how is your algorithm improved? Like, what did you change to the state of the art that made you guys so much more accurate?
Yeah, so companies like GE and Siemens have tried it out. In fact, they are one of their partners. But they have also realized that, to build such algorithms, you need pristine focus, right? And so they have switched towards building platforms where they can onboard AI algorithms like ours. And that's also the reason why we are not going into cuff sound detection through AI, right? Like, it requires focus and dedicated efforts to one thing, to do one thing really, really well. Yeah, so I hope that answers your question.
Yes and no. Like, some of the image computer vision algorithm are known, right? Like, we know what are the best ones. Are you guys using some of those and using your large data sets to improve those models? Or are you guys creating net new models?
So we do improve our models, but the regulatory side of healthcare prevents us from doing continuous learning. So we cannot update our models on a daily basis. So once the models are approved, they have to be deployed as it is. But over the years, we do procure more data, update the algorithms internally, and then we have to go to the regulatory bodies like CE and FDA and say that this is the new model now. And we show that the performance on the previous data set is actually the same or better. And then they are allowed to, we are allowed to sort of update the models in production.
I have a question over here. This side, your right side. You have talked about TB through a chest X-rays, but there is a growing trend on extrapulmonary.
Right.
And how do you validate this extrapulmonary with your findings on the pulmonary?
Right.
Because it is a growing trend, and WHO has also reported. So
Yeah.
how do you account for false negatives?
Right, so certainly, like, there is extrapulmonary, there is also, signs of TB in HIV patients are different from non-HIV patients. So there are certainly some gaps that we are trying to address with bringing more AI partners. And like I talked about, building algorithms that can look at longitudinal data, like the demography of the patient, the geography that they come in from, and what are the other signs that the MR data can provide you. But I would say, like, it will still need more focus and more efforts to build that out.
Thank you. I think there are no further questions. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
We have limited time. We're taking questions mostly from the jury members. Thank you. Next startup, we have Serve Deep Call Private Limited, Naam AI.
Good afternoon, namaskar. What is NAM? NAM is India's first AI caller identification app which identifies any unknown call, spammers and scammers without syncing your contacts. So what you're seeing on the right hand side of the screen basically is a NAM caller ID screen. Whenever any unknown call comes, this is how the caller ID data will come, like not just the name and number but also his organization and the city where he lives, and hence comes the tagline, Naam hi pehchane. So what we are trying to build here is, as a child, we grow up and we go to school, we go to college, and we work somewhere, we work in a profession. But what is our real identity when we step out of the office? And with NAM, we want to try to create an identity for the individual. And how do people know you outside your professional world? So with the digitalization, we have a lot of new problems coming into the picture. First one is the data breach and privacy concerns. Like I know, there are already foreign players coming into the market, but in order to use those applications, you have to compromise on data privacy. They are syncing your contacts, and it's not just the contact. They are even syncing your SMS, which means they know what car you own, like what insurance you have, which credit card you have, which bank statement your salary gets credited in. And with this privacy, that's how the advertising market is going on. And second is the problem of spammers and scammers. So these companies are actually not helping the spams and scam. These are actually promoting them, because as soon as these are working on the crowdsourced data, so the number of people who actually mark the spams and scam, that's how they can reach the data. And no vernacular language support, which means we are a country of diverse language and religion and cultures. So there's no specific language, like if I have to choose a Marathi or Tamil or Telugu or Hindi, how can I change my complete phone in that particular language? And lastly, with the digitalization, we have the deepfake identity frauds happening. So everybody data is lying on the internet. How can one prevent that somebody doesn't create a deepfake out of it? So what are the solutions? NAM, the new AI data company of India. First of all, we are a privacy first approach, which means your data is secure and safe with the NAM. So in order to use the application, just download from the Play Store. You don't need to sync your SMS. We have not even built an SMS integration in the app. You don't need to sync your contacts, which means without syncing your contacts and compromising your data, we'll be able to tell you who is the person who is calling to you, who are the spammers and scammers. And how are you going to stop the deepfake fraud prevention? So our ideal target customers will be a non-celebrity person, because celebrity data is already available on the internet. But since we are based on a crowdsourced data and the public data, we are doing a public data, open data from the internet. So we'll help people, boss, your data is lying on the internet at these internet websites. Do you want us help to remove the data? So we want to help the ordinary people to stop and remove the deepfake. And Pulse. So the idea here is that, our children, most of the children who is the smartphone in the 6th grade to 12th grade category. They are going coaching institution, they are studying in India and all that. But parents are concerned, hopefully my child is secure and all that. So we want, even inform the parents that, any scammer, any cyber bullying or any harassment is not going with the children. So that is the idea in the future, how can we prevent even the children of the India. And the vernacular language support. So what you're seeing on the screen is the call log feature of the app. So if any individual changes the theme in the Hindi, so that's how the phone screen will look in the Hindi. It's not just the settings, the context, but even the names will come in the Hindi. So this is all based on the NLP model, because if you change the name just by doing a Google Translate, Sona becomes a gold, but that doesn't work ideal way. So we have built an NLP algorithm on that, so every name can actually able to translate into a particular defined language. So we are a very strong competitive team. We are bachelors and masters in computer science. We have done MBAs, and our mission is to create communication data secure between people. So there are a lot of business models in this domain. Initially targeting the API business model, we want to integrate API in the various B2B companies in India. Second is the ad tech market. So calling app is the only industry where the margins are actually going on even without opening the app. So I just give an instance, like on an average, as per the study, every individual spends close to 4 to 4.5 hours per day on social media browsing, Instagram, YouTube or Facebook. But in this domain, everything is actually happening outside the app. You get a call, and what is happening at the end of the call? You're getting a advertisement, which can be in the form of an image, a GIF or an animation. People are not aware of it. Once, even you have to close the app, close the ad in order to come on the home screen. So everything is happening without even opening the app, and this market is very huge. And in the coming years, there is a lot of penetration going to happen in the RCS market, rich communication services, and verified business caller, and we will launch it as a premium subscription of 99 per annum. So just to give an understanding of unit economics, like how we plan to become a 25 crore company in the next 5 years. So imagine if NAM has close to 100 million users. On an average, every individual gets at least 10 calls per day, which means I'm talking about a 1 billion impression per day. How many apps in India have the capability to serve this? Because it's all happening, the hook is, it's not inside the app, the hook is outside the app. And the subscription would be at the 99 rupees, and we want to go into the RCS market, which is actually what WhatsApp is doing. We want to become an enabler between brands and customer. Brand will come on the platform, and we want to, reach out to the customer. So we'll be a kind of channel and enabler between them. So to build this company, we have done a heavy investment of close to $2 million, which is mostly, kind of done investment to build the company, to build the AI and the tech. Because the tech part is the most technical part of it, and that is the moat also, that we can proudly say that no one even can replicate that, because if somebody have done that, it's already been done. Because if you see the startup industry, we have e-commerce, so many competition. We have the taxi market, the Ola and Ubers. We have the pharmacy market cluttered. We have the UPI cluttered, but why not in this space? Because the tech is very hard to build on that. So what would be our long-term vision is, how can we, with this, we want to create a safe user India by reducing noise and potential scams. We want to remove the data from the internet, enabling safe and safer India. And with this strategy, we want to go and make in India for the global. And to enable that, we have to do a partnership with various telecoms, OEMs, and manufacturers. And lastly, how do we going to contribute this way? We also want to contribute to the United Nations Sustainable Development Goal in creating a digital resilient society. Because if we are helping people, the women, in order to avoid spams and scams calls, we are eventually saving their time, saving their quality work, and doing something additional for the business. And in terms of the innovation, we are actually an innovative company. A couple of the products I talked about, like the Pulse, we have integrated the WhatsApp feature where you can just disconnect the call just by clicking on the WhatsApp. And we have to an amazing start. We have launched the app in June in 9 Indian regional languages. We have identified close to 350 million safe to talk users, with 0.5 million people are actually using the app right now. And we have how we want to grow is our exciting roadmap. Currently, by next year, we want to grow to 10 million users, and 2025, we plan to go to 100 million user scale. So thank you, and we believe that NAM is not just an app, it's a catalyst for positive India change. Thank you. Questions, if any?
Yeah, hi. So what is your USP as compared to the Truecaller?
So basically Truecaller, first of all, the Truecaller syncs your data, and you have no need to sync your data, and basically we are based on the public available database. We crawl all the internet, and we build AI ML models to identify this is the name and this is the number. And because this syncs your contact list, there is lots of reciprocal effects as well. So for example, if someone buy a SIM and save their name like my wife, so that start reflecting as my wife to everywhere. And second thing is, even the Truecaller actually the best tool for scammers. So what they are doing, they download the Truecaller, change their identity in the Truecaller, and start making a call, misperceptioning the other people as well. So and they also note in multiple languages as well. And even Government of India, Army, and lots of government places, they are saying that Truecaller should not get installed on their applications. We are enabling these segments as well, and also we will tell you that where is your data is publicly available. So the primary source of spam or scam is because your data is somewhere listed by accidental or intentional, someone else list your data over the internet. So we provide you that links, websites as well in premium subscription, that you should delist them and kill the root cause of spam, scams, and even the deep fake in future if your image is listed there. So there's many more things, and we are just 5 MB application, no heavy SDKs, very low footprint in power as well, and no advertisements inbuilt right now. So there's many more features that differentiate us.
Yeah, it's great. Thank you.
So what's your cost of customer acquisition? I mean, is this 5 lakh has just happened organically?
Yeah, organically, sir. So no, we just launched. We also selected in tech 30 companies of India, and people know us, then they tell other people as well. And no one in India have the first language as English. So the lots of tier 2, tier cities people are also getting attraction on this application.
And when do you convert it into pay? Abhi to freemium hai?
Yes,
right?
premium or opt-in based advertisements in future.
So when will you convert into a paid model?
After 10 million users. The idea is to create a product stable and get a sustainable user growth, and post that will go on the monetization. And even we also like integrating these solutions with UP 112 emergency services. Like before even the call comes, we can identify the caller is the female and a teenager, and the call get routed accordingly. So we recently deployed to the biggest contact center of India, worldwide specifically, of 112 and dial 100 UP. So this also a very useful impacts on this kind of solutions. Then we can get money from other than like advertisements.
Is there a OEM model to this where you can go to the telcos and ask them to actually
yes, sir.
put it on all their subscribers?
Yes.
So isn't that a better business model?
Yes. And also we're speaking with the Jio and Airtel that our machine learning models able to identify the people who are doing scams or spams by their calling pattern and behavior. So we can push them directly that you should suspend these SIMs. And also Government of India is pushing, because they come DLT in SMS, but they have no way to support how to stop calls. But in that this technology able to stop the calls as well.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
What valuation you are looking for?
I think we can discuss, one for negotiation, we can discuss that.
All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Our next startup for the pitching session is Teresa Technologies Private Limited.
Hello. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks to Mighty for giving us this opportunity to present this, and thanks to GPAI and OECD for this amazing expo that has been created. And we have taken one of the objectives as responsible AI, and this is what we are going to present to you. So I am Dipendu Biswas from Teresa Technologies. We are a fintech startup, and the problem is solving is for banks to determine the creditworthiness of small and medium businesses because they have challenges accessing finance, not only India, but in many parts of the world. Hence, we are trying to solve that problem where the information is obtained digitally. And apart from the credit bureaus, which already hold a lot of information, credit information about small and medium businesses, we are using alternate data sources also to gather information to determine the creditworthiness of small and medium businesses. And sometimes when the existing systems don't work, people have to resort to paperwork, which adds to the lot of time and labor, and time costs money, and it adds to the bank's transaction costs. And as I said, many of the small and medium businesses do not have credit history, so it also adds to the problem. We have done extensive market survey with various customer segments. Some are microfinance institutions, NBFCs, public sector banks, and private sector banks. And we have collected a lot of insights from the various pain points they have. Some of the large public sector banks want to lend to priority sector lending. However, because of the high cost of transaction, they purchase priority sector lending certificates from various government agencies, and it's left to the government agencies to do the financial inclusion work. However, if the cost of transaction is reduced, then they can do the transactions themselves. So here is an app which we demonstrated to our Central Bank Innovation Hub, Reserve Bank Innovation Hub at IIT Madras, where we use local language which is activated by GPS in the location of the user so that they can interact in their local language with a financial system and do transactions, whether it's payment transactions or whether it's a lending requirement that they have. And then we also do KYC using video and analysis using AI to detect the voice and audio, and then authorize the person with minimal interaction. And it is also disability friendly because they just have to interact with our app and get the services from the financial sector which they are looking for. And our core focus is our digital lending, apart from the innovation in financial services in enabling digital financial services. We have a 3-stage process to discover the borrowers, profile them, and then do the approval of loans, followed by the disbursals, as well as automated collections through the NAC and other automated systems. So you also see an app which uses AI to determine the various financial transactions the small and medium businesses are doing. Currently, we are using our central bank's account aggregator framework to take the mobile number of the borrower and detect which bank accounts it is associated with, and with permission, with their consent workflow, get the financial history for a period of 1 or 2 years and run our machine learning algorithms to determine their creditworthiness and also the risk of lending by the bank to the borrower. We use generative AI to help the financial advisors and underwriters to interact with the system using prompts to understand the various financial ratios and get an idea of what is the risk the bank is taking in lending to them, instead of going through volumes of information which is very time consuming. So it helps them to reduce the time and process a lot more transactions in a minimum amount of time and add to the revenue growth of the bank. We were recognized by Bank of Baroda as one of the top 10 top 10 fintech startups for innovation in financial services using RBI's account aggregator framework. And as I just discussed, we were also selected by Reserve Bank Innovation Hub for voice-assisted financial services. The business model is to pilot with the banks and financial institutions for a period of 30 months, so they get a feel of what our offering is and the various divisions within the financial institutions, from risk management to the other sectors like customer onboarding. They get a feel of what our offering is all about and how it compares to their existing systems, and we get them on a path to transition or run two systems parallelly. And then we start the subscription from $250 monthly to $1,800. This is on the conservative side and primarily on non-banking financial corporations. But because of our exposure through Reserve Bank of India, we were introduced to Bank of Baroda and Canara Bank. These are the large financial banks in India, upwards of 100,000 crores of revenue. And they have given us the opportunity to showcase what we are doing in terms of reducing the cost of transactions, and hence we can charge an AMC of $1 million to these large banks which are operating in India. Here's a unit economics. Again, this is on the conservative side. $74 is the per month unit economics. However, for large banks, our unit economics are much more healthier. Currently, we are bootstrapped, and our opportunity cost is around $70,000, and we are trying to raise $1 million with a valuation of $10 million. Here's the management team. I am Dipendu, founder with around 23 years of experience in banking sector across the world. And Karatwa is a woman founder who assists with talent recognition and onboarding. These are the recognitions that I was talking about, and that's the end of our presentation. Open for questions, gentlemen, ladies.
Hi. So when you started almost like a financial inclusion, theme, and then it has gone to a very different direction. Can you just connect the dots and tell us how does it really help people who are underserved?
Yeah, so because digital lending was always the core, and it still remains the core. In financial inclusion, digital lending is the core, and that is still our customer segment. One of our customer segments I showed was microfinance institutions and NBFCs. So that's still there, and we are still providing our service to them. But as we, because this was the beachhead market we had, we could talk to the chief stakeholders there. However, the big banks, we didn't have access to, but through RBI's intervention, we got recognition and we got access to the big banks. And there we see there's a priority sector lending criteria that they have to meet. However, they try to mitigate that by buying priority lenders certificates and give it to of NABARD. And NABARD has the responsibility of financial inclusion. What we are saying is, we can help you reduce the cost of transaction so that you don't have to buy priority sector lending certificates, and you become part of the financial inclusion yourself. So that's how our transition from, it's not a transition, we got the exposure to, expand our customer segments.
I think you moved way, way away from where you said you wanted to target. People who do not have a credit worthiness, people who do not have resources, from there to the priority lending, that's a very, two different aspects of lending. But anyway, I guess you'll get there sometime.
Yeah, that's, because that's the profits that will come from, and that's where the margins will come from. And financial inclusion will be in the microfinance sector, so that we'll continue to serve that.
How big is the team for you right now?
It's 6 people.
Thanks.
Thank you, Pankaj.
So Dipendu, why have you used this domain .tk?
Well, it's a free domain. We are frugal, we are bootstrapped, so every penny is important to us, and yeah.
I guess it's time to change now.
We are still bootstrapped. Yeah, if we get funding, we definitely, it's just like $500, right? It's not a big deal, right?
Can you talk about current revenue numbers? I might have missed that on your slide. Current revenue numbers, how much you've been doing over the last year?
Yeah, right now we are at pre-revenue because we are a deep tech startup and there's a lot of work that goes into the algorithms and the models. It's very expensive. So we are keeping our transactions also low. We are hosted on AWS. We are running on credits that were given by AWS to us. But the moment we have sufficient reserves, we will automatically scale up the AWS transactions for high volumes.
Perfect. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. So we have our final pitch for today from Titori Infotech Private Limited, Kisan AI.
Good afternoon. I'm Pratik Desai. I'm founder of Kisan AI, and I think whatever you're going to hear from me today is not India first. Like, we have been working world's first in the journey that we have. So, like, we have 2 billion people associated with agriculture around the world, and doesn't matter which continent they are. Like, we always know they are suffering in some way, and doesn't matter what kind of advisory they are. Like, seeking for seeds, pesticide, fertilizer, equipment, doesn't matter. And mostly this is the last mile, smallholder farmers that struggle with proper advisory because this ecosystem is fragmented. There's like, you're a farmer, you're not supposed to remember all the settings in your app. Like you're supposed to work in the farm, and this apps and the settings and these things are like really like difficult for farmer to remember, and that's why we see like drop off using the technology. Because the technology is not simple enough. But then the same farmer will use WhatsApp and Instagram, every one of them, and you don't have to try to teach them to like, hey, how to use WhatsApp. They figured that out because this was simple to use. While if you talk about anyone, say like, hey, we have to reach out 25,000 farmers, they'll be like, oh, this many extension worker, education costs and everything. Like, it's expensive to reach out to the farmer, bring a new technology, and then within 1 quarter, they'll forget. And now focus on the Indian problem. So we have a lot of education institute producing research, a lot of organization working inside, and there's a lot of knowledge get produced, but it never reaches the farmer. It reaches the farmer, but like on huge expense. So what we build Farmers Copilot. It's a vernacular, multilingual, voice-based generative AI, and it's a conversational. So what you need to do is take an app, select your language, and just there is a one button always, ask AI, and you start having conversation with the AI. It will deliver you from the knowledge base that we have curated from all this research institute or agriculture institute or something which is like supposed to reach out to the farmer from practices and everything else. And I think this is something also in inauguration, Prime Minister Modi talked about like how the conversational chatbots are actually affecting farmers. And this is like, when we launched, we were the first one in the world. We solve end-to-end voice problem. We are supporting 9 Indian languages. We have like other languages also supported, but we are focusing on India. And we were like first to do that before like OpenAI or Bharat did that end-to-end voice thing. Like we did it in March. And because we solved a problem and how we did it, there's like you need to understand that this knowledge that get produced are in PDF. There's like scanned pictures or like some perchi and all things like that. And that's not like something which farmer can access easily, or that's not something he want to like research. So we are working with people in the background in farming, our participation and collaboration with Agriculture Institute. We are curating the information so it can be then fed to the LLMs, and then when the farmer asks a question, the LLM will comprehend the question and then deliver, fetch the knowledge, convert into the way that farmer can understand in simplified manner, and deliver them in their own language. And if it's a voice conversation, then it will reply back in the same language. And because it's generative AI and you are curating data, we have figured out how to kind of properly curate data, because we've been like doing very early. We figured out dynamic chunking and all the other parameters that like people are figuring out right now. This works for all other verticals. It doesn't have to be just seed or fertilizer or anything. And then when we launch, we have done like $0 in marketing yet, and more than 100,000 farmers we have reached already. More than 300,000 question in voice and text-based has been asked. And we are seeing like tremendous returning rate. Like whoever use it, they're coming back. Whoever use it and like it, they understand it's simple. They're forwarding in their WhatsApp group. They're forwarding in other WhatsApp group. Then we started seeing farmers finding our phone number. We were like just a one page and there's like link. They found out our phone number, calling us, say, hey, I have a problem with my tractor and my low skill workers keep breaking the equipment. Can you bring the manual top of it? And it's like, this bank not giving me the rate for other banks. I want a tractor loan. Like, can you actually provide me the information so I can get all the loans numbers from all other banks and policies information? And we started like, we are still getting bombarded. People are coming 800 kilometers today in like last 2 days to meet us at our booth because they found out that I'm traveling here from San Francisco. Now, how are we going to make a business? Like, we are for profit, we are a startup, and we're going to keep it like that so we can scale. The whole global industry is $9 trillion, and we know like acquisition cost is really high. And even if it's a 1% of that customer acquisition cost or 5% total, is still a $5.4 billion industry, like all around the world. And being like the pioneering in the whole this generative agriculture, we are trying to kind of solve this 4 big problem for every B2 like business in agri input or like anything related in agriculture, which is low farmer engagement. They have an app. Everyone has an app, but the farmer use it once or twice in one season, then they never open the app. So, you know, like they are not using the app much, and then they forgot how to use it because there are so many options, click here. Then there's a huge amount of staff for support every language 24/7, and this L1, L2 support people are like not really that they can answer all the questions, either basic, or they have to like read catalogs and figure things out. But AI, they can ask and say like, hey, I have a cotton crop, I have a white fly problem, which of your pesticide I'll use, and AI will just fetch it and say like, this is what you need to do, and that to remove all this, like, you know, 24/7. And we have seen our platform, farmers calling middle of the night, where the farming, you can see the cricket in the background, we can hear the cricket in the background, because we do anonymously like the voice testing, and the farmer from the field, while watering the farm, asking questions, like we enable 24/7, like, you know, like access to the farmer. Now they don't have to wait on the line, or talk to a professor, or get appointment to university, which probably never happens. You know, that's like, you know, we know how it works. And then we are actually enabling, if the farmers start engaging inside their app, then we can also enable B2B's direct customer acquisition and the cost. So it reduces significantly the distribution channel and all the layers there in between, which cost the agri input companies and also the farmer. So if you reduce all those layers and enable the direct, you know, like commerce, then it helps the B2B company. And we are collecting insights, so we can also help them with the product design and say like, hey, your particular pesticide, like just an example, we do all vertical. This pesticide has a lot of grievances, sentiments very low, you should work on the product design. So this is the inputs and insight we can provide for agri companies. And so our generative AI platform, what we do work with them, that we do curation for them, we create LLM, we create custom API, so they can integrate it inside all of their different with the farmers, customer support, or distribution channels. And in terms of providing the value, we are like end-to-end generative partners for the agriculture companies. We help them with data enrichment from their unstructured knowledge. We help them create models, co-pilots, insights. And our biggest thing is we have B2B, but B2C with the Kisan AI is the data acquisition platform. We run B2F, so we can create the premium model. So we keep running for free. Farmers always have free access to Kisan AI and general knowledge, which help us to build our platform, which then we use as our model. And there is huge inbounds we have seen. In terms of customer, we have one Fortune 500 company who are working with us to have this whole technology integrated for their knowledge base. We have one world organization working with us to create a board. And I think, give me 1 second, because I think I want to be the showstopper, because we always have complained that India doesn't ship LLMs. So we actually, Monday, on the first day, we shipped our first LLM. It's called Denu, based on Llama and Hathi from Sarvam. We collaborated with Sarvam. And the Denu is the world's first agriculture model shipped from India. And this we launched on the 12th. And I think we have been receiving great thing. And inbounds right now, already I'm bombarded with them, because this is an agriculture specific 300,000 instruction, real conversation from farmer, curated, enriched, and it's also bilingual. So it's a Hindi and English native. So you do not use a lot of extra token for Hindi. You ask in Hindi, you receive in Hindi, token numbers are reduced, and we're going to keep making it premium model. We're going to feed more conversation. So we have like very focused India agriculture practices specific model that we can then use either in our pipeline, replace OpenAI, which are like supporting us, Microsoft supporting us, Intel supporting us, but like we replace them, we put our thing. We can also that use as like a revenue model for someone else wanna develop agri thing. And then we also help agri companies say we train your model, you keep your weight, so you don't have to be like, worry about your knowledge base. So we can also help as a model training curation for the agri company, they weight, build on top of ours. And that's probably going to be a business model. So I'm going to be stopper and stop over here for the questions.
Maybe I can get us started. I think great job. You did a fantastic job. I read a report recently which said that there's about 60 advisory solutions in India alone. How is your solution in terms of quality advisory different than some of the other ones like Digital Greens?
Yeah, I know Digital Green very well. And Digital Green is working on their own database. They are not curating everything. And it's also non-profit foundation. So we are building a startup. So we want to scale. We have like 12 countries reaching out to us. So we want to make sure that we build, curate whole pipeline as on the startup level, and then keep repeating everywhere else. So our mandate is to curate wherever we get money and revenue.
In terms of advisories, the quality of the advisory.
Quality, okay. So as I was saying, the Digital Greens uses their own data that has been collected by them, or the videos. They transcribe the video. I work with all of them, actually, the people who develop. And we want to take all the data that is also produced by the Agriculture Institute. We have 120 ICARs and Agriculture University who produces their package of practices, which is a very geography specific. So our advisory is basically, right now we have done 30 to 35% curation of the knowledge that produced in India, because it's very difficult to access too. It's like taken a picture and scan thing. We have to do a lot of curation on top of it, convert them into language to forms and then English, and then do curation properly for chunks. So we want to make sure that we cover everything which is related to for India, Agriculture Institute knowledge, research later on, and very specific for that thing, and not just limited to one particular mandate, So we have a bigger knowledge base basically compared to Digital Greens.
So as I understand now, you have two options to go down, right? One is either to build out the application for the farmer, or build out this LLM that you can then possibly provide to other companies that are building applications, or you can do both.
It's same thing.
No, it is the same thing, but as a matter of focus.
Because the conversation helped me to get my model better. Right now, the 300,000 instruction is coming from this model. Next time I have 1 million, my model will be better. So 2.0 will have 1 million instruction kind of fit in, right?
So in a way, you're choosing to do both things, is my understanding. You will build out the LLM that can service other startups, or other companies doing this kind of advisory work, or any other kind of work with farmers, which requires agricultural research information to be aggregated, etc. Plus, you'll build out the advisory application for the farmer.
So advisory application get me the instruction that help me to build the model.
Yeah, no, I understand.
So we'll do continuous thing, because then I lose my edge to be the first one to have most premium model in agriculture domain space, right?
And can you talk about how you're planning to acquire the farmers? You obviously mentioned the cost is very high, right?
Yeah. But
so what's your go-to-market plan for acquiring that set of farmer customers?
Okay. So
in a way to start using
as I said, we have 100,000 farmers right now without zero marketing. They are just spreading right now, and I'm right now not forcing myself to get more farmers right now. So if we are working with some FAOs and MGOs, so they can actually help them out. But I want to figure out a good revenue model and a profitable business before I open it up and say hey, 100 million farmers start using it, and I run out of all my GPO credits or the money that I have raised in revenue. So while we get important conversation from farmer, we were letting it organically grow and not spend a lot of marketing, because in farmers always spending money in marketing is our experience that you lose trust. Let them spread in their community, use it, give us feedback, we'll improve, because soon we are next one we're going to launch a market analytics on the app. So now farmer can come talk to the app and ask what is the mandi's price in Nasik yesterday, what was the average price, what was last year's base month with the grapes price in this mandi. So we want to develop this feature and then get a farmer acquired, not worry right now on spending a lot on the acquisition part.
How do you get funded?
It has been bootstrapped by me. Like this is my fourth startup basically. Last startup got acquired, and like 2019 I started this one. So right now, like basically bootstrapping it, and we now started getting revenue. So by this month, we have now revenue from two big customers. So hopefully, like we are a very small, nimble team. And
so what's your pricing or charging mechanism?
Charging. So it's kind of like this data curation part is something we kind of work with depending upon what kind of knowledge base the private company have. Like and then for the pilots, like right now something like $15,000 to $20,000, like for like say 500 or 1,000 farmers, they want to test it out. But later on, it will be usage based. Right now, if something is voice to voice, end to end, it's like around 4 rupees, which will cost go down once we start using our own model. And 1 for English to English tax, like so it's a 1 to 4 depending upon which language you choose, voice tax, and we want to like work so that particular usage cost go down.
To farmers?
No, for B2B companies, because they will pay for us to be inside their app, right?
So the farmers are never going to be charged?
From our website, not. If the private company decide to have subscription in their website or their app, that's like their problem. They will pay us on the usage anyway.
You're not going to ever charge farmers?
For My Kisan AI, like that's never going to happen. We are going to enable conversational commerce once we hit milestone, like let's say 1 million users, then I'm going to enable conversational commerce. So we suggest a pesticide, buy it from here. You don't have to go outside and copy paste in Google or download 20 different applications right now available in market to find fertilizer, right? We can just do it from inside our app.
The business model is still under discovery. How are you going to charge to the corporates? To the businesses, how are you going to charge is still
corporates?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's just what like it's usage based basically.
Okay. Thanks.
Thank you so much. With this, we come to the end of the pitching session. Thank you to all the participants for showcasing their solution today. We'll give the judges a moment to put down their scores. And after that, request Gaurav sir to please collect the score sheets. Requesting all the judges to also come on stage after the scoring is done. Requesting all the jury members to kindly come on stage for a small token of appreciation from our end. So, requesting all the jury members to kindly come on stage for a small token of appreciation. Thank you for your patience, everyone. I would request the jury members to please come on stage for a small token of appreciation from our end. Stage. Thank you.
Whatever the organizers decide.
Requesting Shri Abhishek Singh, Additional Secretary, Ministry of Electronics and IT, Government of India, to felicitate our jury members today. Thank you. Mr. Arpit Agarwal. Mr. Anirudh Suri. Mr. Harshjeet Sethi. Mr. Howard Lacuna. Mr. Pankaj Thakur. Also requesting Ms. Kavita Bhatia, Group Coordinator, Emerging Technologies, MIT, to please give the token to sir. No, I was telling. I was just telling ma'am to give it to you, but. Thank you, everyone. The results will be announced at the closing ceremony, which is scheduled to be from 5 p.m. today. Thank you, everyone, and have a great rest of the day.
Scan your own face and get all your photos wherever you are.